Hey guys, welcome back to Mo's Game Table. Today we're going to do an unboxing of Pavlov's House, the Battle of Stalingrad from DVG Games. This was kickstarted last year on the design from David Thompson that was originally a print and play game on BGG. And it was given a proper publishing, and it's being received by Kickstarter backers now, and it should be available for retail pretty soon. This is a solitaire game, but it can also be played cooperatively and adversarially. If one side takes the Germans, the other can control the Soviet forces repulsing the attack from the Sixth Army. So that is the basis of the game. Now let's take a look inside. And we've got rules manual we'll take a look at first. It is a 31-page manual, and the object of the game, goal of Pavlov's House is to last until the defenders of Pavlov's House are tasked with storming a key German strongpoint during the Battle of Stalingrad. In the game, this is depicted by playing through a deck of cards representing elements of the German Sixth Army. So that is the premise of the game. It's 1 to 3 players, like I said, ages 12 and up. Average playtime is expected to be 60 to 75 minutes. Illustration of the setup, the map, which we'll get to here in a minute when I open it up. This will give you an idea of it. It's broken into 3 sections. The first is the Volga River, where you're going to be doing your logistical, operational aspects of the game. We do your logistical support and fire support from there. This is the German 9 January Square, where the Germans move in on their assault on Pavlov's House. And then this is Pavlov's House itself, where you're going to be running your Soviet counters around in the tactical display as you repulse the attack from the Germans, or attacks, I should say, from the Germans, not just one. So here's a setup and your explanation of your tokens, counters and cards. Here, everything's broken down to give you the different parts of the counters and the cards and what they do. And then Soviet card phase, it goes through playing the game step by step, how many actions you can take, what each card can do, what the effects of them are, and how to use them. Then you have the German Wehrmacht card phase, and that we start off here with a gameplay example that explains a sniper card, how that's handled. And next page we've got a couple more gameplay examples, illustrated gameplay examples. I'm a huge fan of illustrated gameplay examples. I'm a visual learner, so that's very popular with me. It's great to see that it's pretty prevalent throughout this book, pretty much on every page, which fantastic job by DVG Games and also the designer David Thompson to make it that much easier for people to learn the game, because the faster you can learn it, the faster you can play it. The more often you're going to play it. A couple more gameplay examples as we get into more of the German card play, and then we get Soviet counter phase in Pavlov's House itself. We continue with a whole bunch of gameplay examples. Really impressed with what I'm seeing so far as a look at first glance. Continue through the rest of Pavlov's House. We get the first aid, and then ending the game with the different victory levels from major defeat all the way to epic victory, where you could win Hero of the Soviet Union Award, which was what Sergeant Yakov Pavlov had won. He won a whole bunch of awards. The guy was a total badass and won multiple medals from the Soviet Army. And he did survive the assault on Pavlov's House. He actually survived the war and became a member of the Soviet government after World War II. This is actually, that's where the name of Pavlov's House comes from, is from Sergeant Yakov Pavlov, who was one of the initial assaulters on the 4-story building. 4 pages of variants, and then we have references and additional resources that the designer has added in here for your own understanding, your own knowledge. If you wanted to do some further reading, this is where he gathered the information he got to design this game. And then at the bottom we have some scenarios from other games that are centered around Pavlov's House. We've got 3 from ASL, 2 from Lock and Load Tactical. We've got 1A games, Tide of Iron, L2 Streets of Stalingrad, the big monster game, and Critical Hit Advanced to Brook system also has a game around the Battle of Stalingrad. So now let's get inside the box here. We'll take a look first at the map that comes with the game, the mounted board. And that's a good sized board, nicely illustrated. We've got the Volga River, which we already mentioned before. Volga River, 9 January Square, and then Pavlov's house itself. Volga is where you're going to be doing all your logistical bits and pieces. This is operational level. You're going to be getting your fire support missions and supplies and things for the defense of Pavlov's house. This is where the Germans are going to start moving in towards Pavlov's house. And then this is the tactical level where you will move your Soviet counters around in defense of Pavlov's house, as we talked about before. Now you actually see the map itself. It's a nice, good semi-gloss map, good quality. I mean, excellent graphics, everything. Looks fantastic on this. We've got 5 counter sheets, big chunky counters. We'll start off with the first 2 pages because this is looks to be the special level Kickstarter pledge where Kickstarter backers could get themselves in the game as on a counter. So, and it's always neat if you can get a chance to get yourself into a game. And there's the designer, David Thompson. So you can actually control him as well in his own game and make him feel the pain of the assault of the Germans. Now we've got some German counters now. We've got scouts, riflemen, and machine gunners on this sheet. Then we get into support units. We've got light machine guns, heavy machine guns, mortars, anti-tank rifles, anti-tank guns, Panzer II, 3s, 4s, and some Stugs. And then we get into the Soviets themselves, the actual historic Soviets that are from the battle, including the hero of the show here, Pavlov himself. We'll pop him out and take a look at his counter. That's Sergeant Pavlov, and that shows you the type of quality you're going to have on this counter. That's his exhausted side, that's his full strength side, and we'll put this back in the tree. Goes back in perfect. And we've got a couple of player aid cards. We've got Soviet counters that give an explanation of the Soviet counters, along with corresponding pages where the actions that can be carried out are explained. Wehrmacht cards for the Germans with the same thing. You got some page pointers, and then you've got the Soviet cards also. And then we've got 5 dice and a bag of wood bits, and wow, I will never be able to roll 3 6s like that on a 5 dice roll for the rest of the year. We've got a bag of wood bits. We've got 2.5 decks of cards, and we've got another deck I'm going to take a look at here. I'm going to pull these cards out so you can see what you're going to be getting. We've got some German cards and some Soviet cards. You can tell from the backing which one's which, Soviet hammer and sickle and the German cross. So this makes it easier there's no mixing up the decks. We've got 8th Guards, Sapper Battalion, Volga Military Flotilla on both, and 139th Signal Battalion. These are a couple of examples of the Soviet cards. Then we've got some German cards. These are tactics cards, artillery barrage, camouflage, fire support. Like camouflage adds 1 to defense value for infantry. Artillery barrage, you can roll 1 extra die when making an attack for all artillery cards. And then fire support, if a Soviet counter is suppressed by a mortar this round, roll to target a different combat position in the same colored area and roll to attempt to suppress it. So just wanted to give you a look at a couple of the examples of the cards. I'm not going to open them all up and go through them. That's for you to explore on your own when you get the game. Like I said, it is now being sent out to Kickstarter backers. If you backed it, you should have received it or be receiving it very soon. It will be available for retail also very soon. I'm not sure when, but it will be available very soon. That is Pavlov's House, the Battle of Stalingrad from Dan Version Games. There was also, for Kickstarter backers, I'm curious to take a look at it in the future myself because of my interest in the Battle of Stalingrad. There was a 40-page Battle of Stalingrad book that was done a Kickstarter exclusive. So it gives everybody a little bit more background on the battle itself. And I'm curious to see if that will ever be released for regular consumption, maybe as a PDF later on or something. But great little added benefit for those who did the Kickstarter backing. That is Pavlov's House from Dan Version Games and designer David Thompson. And like I said, it'll be available for retail very soon. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I will be getting a review of this done as soon as I can get some plays on the, get some time to get this on the table, get some plays in, and it'll be up on my website, mosgametable.com. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in.